We're just about 2 weeks out from Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness, so here are 10 cameos that I want to see in the movie. What's going on, guys? I'm Chris and welcome back to another video. So as we approach Multiverse of Madness, I'm going to amp up more theory videos and predictions, as this is arguably the biggest movie of the year, coming off the heels of Spider-Man No Way Home. Who knows what madness we could see in this movie. But before I give you guys 10 cameos I want to see, make sure to hit the like button, comment down below the cameos that you want to see in this film, and make sure to subscribe to that notification bell. Alright, so kicking off the list at number 10 is going to be The Watcher, but not just any version of The Watcher, a live action version of this character played by Jeffrey Wright, who is one of my favorite supporting actors in all of Hollywood. I think this one makes a lot of sense and is one of the more likely cameos to happen that is on this list, because it's already kind of confirmed that we're going to see Captain Carter in this movie, as well as evil Doctor Strange as we see them in the trailer and Captain Carter's hinted at on the poster. So I definitely think we will see the Watcher in this movie, and Jeffrey Wright would definitely be willing to come back. He's so perfect in the voice role in the show What If, and he kills it as Gordon in The Batman, plus a lot of other awesome supporting roles, so I think this would be a fun cameo. Number 9 on my list is going to be Loki. Now, the only reason I want to see this cameo happen is to possibly connect Multiverse of Madness to the ending events of the Loki show, because as of right now, it's pretty confusing as to what exactly is going on with the multiverse in the MCU, and how much relevance that show actually plays in the MCU. So I really am curious to see how the hell he could come into this movie. Now, do I think this will happen? Probably not. They kind of need to tie up some loose ends in the MCU, and what better way to do it than in a movie about the actual multiverse. Number 8 on my list is going to be Aaron Taylor Johnson as Quicksilver. Now, obviously, this character met his demise in Age of Ultron a little too soon, R.I.P. I think this would be an impactful cameo because it could be a moment in the film where Wanda is fully unhinged and she's gone almost fully irredeemable, but the one person that could come in and maybe talk her down from the ledge of going full-on mad is a version or variant of Aaron Taylor Johnson's Quicksilver. Now, I talked about this idea with a friend, so this is not my full-on original idea, but it would be really cool if the variant that we see of Aaron Taylor Johnson's Quicksilver lost Wanda in his respective universe, so they both have that in common where they've lost each other, but then they find each other in this multiverse of madness and kind of reconcile their relationship, and also kind of get Wanda to come down from this ledge of going full-on mad. It would be one of the more emotional and heartfelt cameos in this movie. Will it happen? I'm not sure. I think Aaron Taylor Johnson might have moved on, and he is going to be playing Kraven the Hunter soon, so it might not make too much sense to bring him back, but I would be a fan of this cameo. Number 7 on my list is going to be Tobey Maguire as Spider-Man. Now, of course, we all know Tobey is in No Way Home, so that's kind of a main reason on the list, is it would make sense for him to come back. But perhaps the biggest reason is because the director of this film is Sam Raimi, who obviously directed the Spider-Man trilogy from the early 2000s. So seeing Tobey and Sam Raimi reunite would make fans across the world smile. It would feel like a big old hug to us fans. And would it be a little bit of fan service? Yeah, but you kind of need that in this kind of movie. And honestly, Tobey wouldn't even have to reveal his face. They could just do a CGI Spider-Man suit. He could do voice work, or they could have a stand-in for the Spider-Man suit, and I would be completely fine with that. But I think that Tobey's voice has to be heard at some point in this movie so that we can officially say Raimi and Maguire have teamed up again. And when I'm looking at all 3 live-action Spider-Mans, I feel like Tobey has the best shot to show up because Andrew might not want to be in the movie. He's busy doing other things. And Tom's makes no sense because he was just in No Way Home and Doctor Strange was in that movie, and I don't really know what relationship Spider-Man has with all the other MCU characters right now. It's a little confusing, so who really knows. Number 6 on my list is Evan Peters as Quicksilver. Now, I've made a video on TikTok and an Instagram reel talking about this, but this needs to happen in order to right the wrongs of WandaVision, because one major flaw from WandaVision is the whole Ralph Bohner mishap. You bring in Evan Peters as Quicksilver and you're like, oh my gosh, the Fox crossover is finally happening, and it turns out it's just some dude named Ralph Bohner who looks exactly like him. So it's very unfortunate. I do think they need to right the wrongs of this by having another Quicksilver scene, or an abbreviated version of one, where there's this big multiversal fight going down in the 3rd act, and we see time start to slow down, a bop of a song starts to play, and Evan Peters' Quicksilver enters frame, and he's just screwing with everybody for like 30 seconds. I think this would be perfect, and they could even make fun of the Ralph Bohner joke and be like, that sucked, but it would be a great way to right the wrongs. Now that we're getting into the top 5, these are the cameos that I want to see the absolute most. All the other ones I mentioned would be really cool, but these are the ones that would get me the most amped. Number 5 on my list is going to be less of a cameo and more of a character introduction, and that is John Krasinski as Mr. Fantastic. We all know Mr. Fantastic could plausibly be on the Illuminati in this movie, and seeing the introduction of John Krasinski, arguably the biggest fan casting of all time for a superhero movie, would be absolutely insane, and I know the theater would go wild. Now, I wouldn't be opposed to seeing Ian Gruffudd, the original actor who played Mr. Fantastic in the 2000s films, coming back. That would be pretty cool, but I think that they need to progress Fantastic Four in the MCU. I think that introducing Mr. Fantastic in this movie would be huge because the Fantastic Four movie is right around the corner. It's not too far away, so I think it's a necessary thing to introduce in a movie of this scale and caliber. And the icing on top would be if Emily Blunt was confirmed to be playing Sue Storm in the MCU, which would be just even cooler. Now, number 4 on my list has almost a negative % chance of happening, but it would make me the most happy out of any of the cameos on this list, and that is Jon Bernthal's Frank Castle, aka the Punisher, showing up in this movie. Why the hell would he show up? I don't know. I can't even really draft up a scenario that would make any remote sense. But if we for some reason saw the Punisher in the MCU, maybe even alongside Daredevil, I would absolutely lose my shit. And that would be the moment that got me the most excited, because that is one of my favorite superheroes, and Jon Bernthal is just the guy. I could only imagine the theatrical uproar if he pulled up on the screen, wielding 2 machine guns with his Punisher vest, just kicking ass. That is what I want to see in this movie. Again, it wouldn't really make sense because he's more of a down-to-earth superhero as opposed to like this mutant or multiversal hero, but still, a boy can dream. Now, my top 3 are the ones that I desperately want to happen, and I have a feeling we're going to get at least one of these, but if any of these 3 happen, it will be like the No Way Home level moment. Number 3 on my list is going to be Magneto, but not just any Magneto, the version played by Michael Fassbender. Yes, I'm talking about this version right here. This is the best version of Magneto we've seen on the big screen. Now here's my pitch for the version of Magneto we see. He's played by Michael Fassbender, and he's actually a variant that is confirmed to be the father of Wanda Maximoff in his respective universe. So we get a little father-daughter multiversal showdown, and he could die. I mean, it would be sad, but I would like to just see Michael Fassbender one more time in the role, because he was a prominent part of the newer X-Men films, and one of the best castings, I think, as a comic book movie villain. But the top 2 cameos are ones that would get me the most electric and just over the top excited. Number 2 on my list is one that I am fairly confident in saying he'll be in this movie, and that is Deadpool. If you really look at that first poster, in one of the shards of glass, you can see Deadpool. I'll insert a picture right here. But I really do believe he will show up in this movie in some capacity. Number 1, they already have Deadpool 3 in the works, confirmed to be in the MCU, so why not bring Deadpool into this movie, literally called Multiverse of Madness? Number 2, he's already done that promotion video with Korg when they reacted to the Free Guy trailer, so he is technically been with another MCU character before. We already get a look at Charles Xavier, or a variant of him, which is in the X-Men universe, so why not have Deadpool come in? That's why all the X-Men characters that are on this list could be feasible, because we do hear Patrick Stewart's Charles Xavier's voice in the trailer. And I can only imagine how funny it would be if like this serious moment was happening and like a record scratched and then Deadpool just walked into frame with everything frozen and made some joke about how the timelines are confusing. That is a must, and I think that would get a massive uproar from the audience. It would also be a way to set up Deadpool 3, as that is coming sooner rather than later, so please let this happen, and I'm pretty confident it will. But the number 1 cameo that I want to see in Multiverse of Madness that would get the biggest reaction, that would rival the reaction we had when Tobey and Andrew came out of those portals in No Way Home, is Hugh Jackman returning as Wolverine. And in many ways, Hugh Jackman as Wolverine is the first mega superhero, as the X-Men movies came out in the early 2000s, some of them even before the Raimi trilogy, and this is one of the more iconic castings in a superhero flick. I would say he's top 4 all time alongside RDJ as Iron Man. Like, there is no one else in my eyes who can play Wolverine, and while the character had a perfect send-off in Logan, I think a lot of people would still want to see this character come back, and simply put, it would just be a variant. It would not be the version we've seen in the X-Men films. It would be a variant that is still played by Hugh Jackman, and if we could just see him go full-on berserker mode, just absolutely slaughtering some Ultron bots or just go into war alongside Strange and other X-Men characters, that would be epic, and the crowd would just lose it. I'm pretty sure people would be fainting, because this is another situation where it's a character we never thought we would see on the big screen again. Tobey and Andrew, never thought we'd see him again. Ewan McGregor as Obi-Wan Kenobi, never thought we would see him again. Why not make 2022 an even more memorable year and bring back Hugh Jackman as Wolverine? And again, there is a glimmer of hope, because Deadpool could be in this movie, and Charles Xavier is likely in this movie. So we're already getting some X-Men characters in here. Bring back Hugh Jackman as Wolverine, his expressed interest in wanting to join the MCU before. It all makes sense, and I think this could be their big reveal that no one would see coming. And the fortunate thing about all 10 of these cameos I just listed, there is no confirmation on any of them. There were leaks with No Way Home. There's not really any leaks for this movie for cameos, so that's exciting. But what cameos do you guys want to see in this movie? Let me know in the comments down below. Make sure to hit the like button and subscribe to that notification bell, as I'm going to be covering Multiverse of Madness in depth all the way through its run. I cannot wait. And I am running a giveaway for Spider-Man No Way Home. If you check out my unboxing of the Steelbook, all you have to do is like that video, comment your favorite moment from No Way Home, and subscribe, and you'll be entered into that giveaway. And if you become a Patreon member at any phase, you will get 5 extra entries into the giveaway. I'm also running a Patreon giveaway where if you become a Patreon from now until the end of the month, your name will be entered into a Blu-ray bundle giveaway where I'm giving away 5 Blu-rays. But thank you guys again for watching. Have a great rest of your weekend. Until next time, I'll see you guys later.